And we're still here finding all the stars on the GitHub heavens. And I had the opportunity to walk here into the Stars Lounge, is that?
Yeah, this is Stars Lounge.
Okay. Where I found, I was asking, who wants to be the next victim? And Santosh was like, yeah, me. And I know that's the attitude. Hello, Santosh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, super excited, and really, really happy to be here in GitHub Universe. But I'm not the one being interviewed here. So would you mind sharing with the audience that do not know you, how dare you, to know about you? Who are you? What do you do?
So hey everyone, my name is Santosh, and I'm one of the GitHub stars. That's why I'm on this launch. Yeah, getting a special treatment here. But I'm also a Google developer expert for Angular, so I do some open source work on web technologies. For example, I used to contribute to Angular, do a lot of public speaking and content creation. So I'll write a blog post, I have my own YouTube channel where I do podcasts. So yeah, and then I work full-time as a senior engineer at Celonis.
Like, subscribe, activate the bell and everything on his channel. Comments and everything, all that helps. So Santosh, with all those adventures, I can subscribe and everything from the YouTube channel. Silly question, is this your first universe?
No, actually I was here last year as well, but it was another venue, the smaller one. It was not smaller, but it was very compact, but this is huge.
Yeah. How many universes have you been? Just the first one or?
This is second one.
Second one,
yeah.
Okay. And what's your experience on this one? And how do you see a difference from the previous one?
I mean, so as I said, like the previous one was very compact, so it was hard to meet people. And this one is like pretty huge, so you have enough space. And you can actually find a lot of people hanging around, and then you can meet your friends. And now we have this Stars Lounge, very special, so people can come, talk to us, learn more about the Stars program. So it's amazing. I mean, I met so many people at the event, and yeah.
Really cool. And speaking about the Stars program, what can you tell us and what type of questions have you been receiving here at the lounge?
Yeah, so people are really interested, like how to become a GitHub star. So that was a very common question, like what you need to do. So that's a very common question. If you want me to cover, I mean, I can do that. So generally, it's like all about your community contributions. You contribute to open source, you run communities, you are like helping developers across the world in some way possible. And that's what makes you star. And there is actually a board, which I think probably you can add later. What makes you a star?
Oh, we will make sure to take a little bit. If I did my work well, you will see it on the screen as I am speaking so that you can see the recommendations. And Santosh, what were the things that turned you into a star?
So I was doing a lot of open source for GitHub. Angular, not GitHub, for Angular. And I was doing public speaking, and it was COVID. So, everything went virtual. I was writing blog posts. I started my own podcast at that same time. And GitHub was looking for their first Indian GitHub star. And it matched somehow, and I got a mail that, oh, you have been nominated as a star. And I was like, wow, I mean, becoming something like first Indian to be a star, I was like, wow, that's a huge feeling.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. So it's been 4 years now for me in the program. And I moved to another country, but that feeling still holds that, oh, I was the first Indian to become a star. And this is an amazing program, I would say. I mean, the kind of support you get from the GitHub itself is phenomenal.
Did you do any campaign to become a star, or suddenly it happened and you didn't know?
Oh, so that's a really interesting story. Glad you asked. So it was like 2020, GitHub launched this program. They were planning to launch it in a better way, but COVID happened. It went virtual. So there was a tweet from GitHub that, okay, they announced few stars already. And I was like, hey, there is no one from India. And then I shared this tweet with my followers. Like I had, I think probably 2,000 followers at that time on GitHub, on Twitter. And I was like, hey, if you think like if there is anyone in India who, I mean, I know there are so many developers who are doing open source. So if you think there is someone who deserves this, go ahead and nominate. And I was not expecting, believe me, I was not expecting at all that people will nominate me. Because that's not what I was asking for. I was asking for go ahead and nominate the folks you love. And eventually I ended up getting nominated, and I was like, oh wow.
That's a beautiful and kind of funny story because you were promoting like, hey, someone send it to someone, and your community was like, how about you?
That's interesting.
And speaking of here being in the conference, and that is your second GitHub Universe, we had a lot of announcements. We have seen a lot of news and things that GitHub is coming up with. Which one was your favorite or the one that blew your mind the most this time?
I think the best one which I saw was multi-file editing now as part of Copilot, because I've been using Copilot since it was launched. I got early access and I was pretty amazed by what it can do. And then, of course, there was talk about, okay, there are a few more products around it, but GitHub, the Copilot knows your code better than, I think that's one thing which Copilot does really well. And I was amazed. And now I can choose, now they have multi-model support, so I can choose maybe Google Gemini, Cloud, and now you also have multi-file editing, which is amazing. Like, it makes your life easier. And it's free for open source.
Oh, definitely take a look. Yeah, I was pretty amazed because when you have multiple files, you have to kind of like be jumping and going one by one. And like with this, boom, right?
Yeah.
And Santosh, what would you recommend to the audience, to the community watching us, if they want to become a star or be here at GitHub Universe? Or what recommendations would you give to the audience, to the world, and to your people back in India as well?
Yeah, so for becoming a star, one thing which you should be is like, you should be passionate enough for the community. It's not a program where you can just do one thing and become a star. You need to be like really driven and go ahead and help your communities, and that's how you become a star. It's not like something which you can ask for. It's something which you get for what you do. So keep doing it, just in case you want to become a star. I'm available on social media to always help people. Send me a message. Maybe we can schedule some calls, because that's what I'm planning to do next year. Help more people get into the community and become part of this programs like GitHub Stars or Google Developer Experts.
And a few words or recommendations for people starting in development, starting coding.
Yeah, so believe me, of course, you may see all this layoffs going on, but this is the best time to become a developer, because this is an era of AI, and it's easy to get started with any technology you want. There was a time we have been in that era, right, where setting up development environment was a hell. Like, we used to do it for a month. Believe me, that's the reality. We used to do that. But you have so many tools, thanks to GitHub, which makes your life easier now. And even contributing to open source, don't avoid that. Contributing to open source gives so much back. You may think, okay, I'm investing my time, but the kind of returns you have by contributing to open source is amazing. So,
yeah, it's definitely, it's kind of like a huge community when you are part of open source projects, not only one, projects in plural. And it becomes like your open source family. Definitely follow up the recommendations. And just to close up, where can people find you, follow up with what you're doing, like, subscribe, and all the things that we were saying?
Yeah, so you can find me on internet. Just search for Santosh Yadav Dev and or SantoshYadav.dev, and you will find everything about me.
In all the social networks,
Yeah.
channels, and
Yeah,
even TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok, so
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I'm not in TikTok, no Facebook. Yeah, I'm just limited on some of the platforms.
No, don't worry. Yeah, I'm not in TikTok either, and I don't think I'll ever be. So, Santosh, thank you very much. It was just a pleasure.
Yeah.
And we will keep looking for awesome stars and people. I have a feeling, there are several back there. Let's see what we can get. So, for now, Leandro out and Santosh out. Adios.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Adios.